Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P3, Variant 1, May-June 2022. Let's get started. Write the number 6.5 million in figures. 500,000 is 500,000. So 6.5 million is 6,500,000. Write 6,538 correct to the nearest 10. The number in the tens position is 3. The number after 3, which is 8, is greater than 5. So we add 1 to 3, giving us 4. The number after 3 becomes 0. So 6,538 becomes 6,540, rounded to the nearest 10. Work out 6 times 5 plus 12 divided by 3. When we type this into the calculator, we get 34. From this list of numbers, write down a factor of 48. From the list, 16 is a factor of 48. 16 divides 48 completely without a remainder. Write down a cube number. From the list, 64 is a cube number. 4 cubed gives us 64. Write down a prime number. From the list, 29 is a prime number. It has only 2 factors, 1 and itself. Find the value of square root of 0.001225. When we type this into the calculator, we get 0.035. Find the reciprocal of 8. The reciprocal of any number is 1 over the number, so the reciprocal of 8 is 1 over 8. Find the value of 8 raised to the power 0. Any number raised to the power 0 is 1, so 8 raised to the power 0 is 1. Write 180 as a product of its prime factors. 180 can be written as 18 times 10. 18 can be written as 2 times 9. 2 is a prime number, so we circle it. 9 can be written as 3 times 3. 3 is a prime number, so we circle both. 10 can be written as 2 times 5. 2 and 5 are prime numbers, so we circle them. So 180 equals 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. We can leave this as our final answer, or we can rewrite it as 2 squared times 3 squared times 5. Find the lowest common multiple of 160 and 180. First, we write 180 and 160 as a product of their prime factors. Then we map their prime factors onto a Venn diagram. The product of the elements in the Venn diagram gives us the LCM. So the LCM of the two numbers is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 3 times 3, which is equal to 1,440. The mass of an aircraft's M tons is 473 tons. Correct to the nearest ton. Complete the statement about the value of M. To correct M to the nearest ton, we have 473 tons. Then we bring in plus and minus 1 ton. Then we divide 1 ton by 2. The lower bound of M is 473 minus 1 over 2 tons, which is equal to 472.5 tons. And the upper bound of M is 473 plus 1 over 2 tons, which is equal to 473.5 tons. So we have M is greater than and equal to 472.5 and less than 473.5. Write down the number of sides of a hexagon. A hexagon has 6 sides. In triangle ABC, AB equals AC. Write down the mathematical name for this type of triangle. In triangle ABC, exactly two sides of the triangle are equal in length, so it is an isosceles triangle. Measure angle CAB. Using a protractor, when we measure angle CAB, we get 124 degrees. Write down the mathematical name for angle CAB. Since angle CAB is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, then it is an obtuse angle. Show that the interior angle of a regular pentagon is 108 degrees. Here is the formula for the size of an interior angle in a regular polygon. For a pentagon, the number of sides n is 5. This gives us 108 degrees. ABCD is a parallelogram. The reflex angle at D is 248 degrees. Find angle DCB. The sum of the angles at a point add up to 360 degrees. So to get angle ADC, we subtract 248 from 360, which gives us 112. These two are interior angles. Interior angles add up to 180 degrees. So angle DCB plus 112 equals 180. When we subtract 112 from both sides, we get angle DCB to be 68 degrees. The angles of a triangle are in the ratio 3:5:7. Find the size of the largest angle in this triangle. The largest angle in the triangle is equal to the largest ratio share, which is 7, divided by the total ratio, which is 15, times the sum of the angles in the triangle, which is 180 degrees. This gives us 84 degrees. Sachin, his wife, and 3 children go on a coach holiday. Each adult ticket costs $375 and each child ticket costs $194. Work out the total cost of the tickets. The total cost of the tickets is equal to the cost of the tickets for Sachin and his wife, which is 2 times $375 plus the cost of the tickets for their 3 children, which is 3 times $194. When we type this into the calculator, we get $1,332. A meal costs $110 plus a service charge of 18%. Calculate the total cost of the meal. The total cost of the meal is equal to $110 plus the service charge, which is 18% of $110. This gives us $129.8. One day, the temperature at midday is 16 degrees Celsius. At midnight, the temperature has fallen by 23 degrees Celsius. Work out the temperature at midnight. To get the temperature at midnight, we subtract 23 degrees Celsius from 16 degrees Celsius. This gives us negative 7 degrees Celsius. Sachin spends $768 on holiday. He spends 3/8 of this amount on presents. Find how much he spends on presents. To get the amount he spends on presents, we simply multiply 3/8 by $768. This gives us $288. There are 604 passengers on the holiday. The coach company uses coaches, which can carry 46 passengers. Work out the number of coaches needed. To get this number, we divide 604 by 46, which gives us 13.1. This means we need 14 coaches to carry all the passengers. 268 of the 604 passengers are women. Find the percentage of the passengers that are women. To get this percentage, we divide the number of women, which is 268, by the total number of passengers, which is 604, and multiply by 100%. This gives us 44.4%, rounded to three significant figures. A coach travels at an average speed of 54 kilometers per hour. Find how long, in hours and minutes, this coach takes to travel 126 kilometers. We can use this formula to get the time duration for the journey. The distance covered d is 126 kilometers and the speed v is 54 kilometers per hour. This gives us 1/3 hours. To convert 1/3 hours to minutes, we multiply 1/3 by 60. This gives us 20 minutes. So we have 2 hours 20 minutes. The diagram shows a right-angled triangular prism. On the 1 cm square grid, complete a net of this prism. One face has been drawn for you. First, we need to find y, which is the hypotenuse of the triangle and the width of the sloping rectangle. To get y, we apply the Pythagoras theorem. This gives us y squared equals 4 squared plus 3 squared. When we make y the subject, this is what we get, which is equal to 5. So for the net, we start by drawing the bottom rectangle, which has dimensions 7 centimeters by 3 centimeters. This has already been drawn for us. The triangular faces with base 3 centimeters and height 4 centimeters would be connected to the sides of the bottom rectangle. The bottom rectangle would be connected to the rectangle with dimensions 7 centimeters by 4 centimeters because these sides of the triangles with length 4 centimeters need to be the same as the width of the rectangle. The final face of the prism with dimensions 7 centimeters by 5 centimeters would be connected to the bottom. Work out the volume of this prism. Here is the formula for the volume of a prism. In this case, the cross-section of the prism is in the shape of a triangle. The area of a triangle is half base times height, where the base is 3 centimeters and the height is 4 centimeters. The length L of the prism is 7 centimeters. This gives us 42 centimeters cubed. The diagram shows a rectangle with 6 congruent circles inside. Each circle touches the adjacent circles and the sides of the rectangle. The radius of each circle is 8 centimeters. Show that the length of the rectangle is 48 centimeters. The length of the rectangle is 6 times the radius of a circle, which is 8 centimeters. This gives us 48 centimeters. Find the area of the rectangle. Give the units of your answer. Here is the formula for the area of a rectangle. We found the length L to be 48 centimeters. To get the width W, we multiply the radius of the circle, which is 8 centimeters by 4, which gives us 32 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 1536 centimeters squared. Calculate the percentage of the rectangle that is shaded. First, let's find the area of the shaded region, which is equal to the area of the rectangle minus the area of the circles. We found the area of the rectangle to be 1536 centimeters squared. There are 6 circles, so the area of the circles is 6 times pi 8 squared centimeters squared. 6 pi times 8 squared is 384 pi. So now, the percentage of the rectangle that is shaded is equal to the shaded area, which is 1536 minus 384 pi centimeters squared divided by the area of the rectangle, which is 1536 centimeters squared times 100%. When we type this into the calculator, we get 21.5% rounded to 3 significant figures. The grid shows a point A. Write down the coordinates of point A. When we map A onto the x-axis, we get 3. And when we map it onto the y-axis, we get 1. So we have 3, 1. On the grid, plot the point B at -1, 3. On the grid, we've plotted point B. C is a point on the grid whose coordinates are whole numbers. On the grid, mark a point C so that triangle ABC is isosceles. For triangle ABC to be isosceles, AB needs to be equal to AC. To move from point A to B, we move 4 units to the left and 2 units upwards. So to move from A to C, we are going to move 4 units to the left and 2 units downwards. The diagram shows a rhombus. Write down the order of rotational symmetry. The order of rotational symmetry of a shape is the number of times a shape looks like the original when it is rotated 360 degrees. The rhombus looks exactly like this under 2 instances: after it is rotated 180 degrees and after it is rotated 360 degrees. So the order of rotational symmetry is 2. On the diagram, draw all the lines of symmetry. The line of symmetry of a shape is the line that splits a shape into 2 mirror halves. A rhombus has 2 lines of symmetry. The grid shows triangles A, B, and C. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. When we look at both triangles A and B, we can tell straight away that this is an enlargement by a scale factor of 2 because each of the sides of the image, which is triangle B, is twice its corresponding side in triangle A. This is a positive scale factor because triangle B has the same orientation as triangle A. From here, all we need to do now is to find the center of enlargement. In this case, we see that point B remains fixed after the enlargement, so that is the center of enlargement. This point has coordinates 2, 1, and so the full description for this transformation is enlargement by a scale factor of 2 about the center 2, 1. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle C. When we look at triangle A and its image triangle C, we can tell straight away that this is a 180-degree rotation. So now we need to identify the center of rotation. For a 180-degree rotation, the way to determine the center of rotation is this. We draw lines to connect at least 2 corresponding points on both triangles. The intersection point of the lines is the center of rotation, which in this case is the origin. And so the full description for the transformation will be rotation 180 degrees about the origin. Draw the image of triangle A after a translation by the vector -5, 3. For this translation, the translation vector dictates that we move each of the vertices of triangle A 5 units to the left and 3 units upwards. On the diagram, the movement for point B has been shown. After repeating the same process for all the other points as well, we are able to map out the translated image of triangle A. Draw the image of triangle A after a reflection in the line y equals -2. First, we need to draw the line of reflection, which is y equals -2. Then we need to reflect each vertex on triangle A in the line y equals -2. This means if we pick point C on triangle A, Since we move 3 units downwards to touch the line of reflection, we also need to move 3 units downwards from the line of reflection to pin the new position of point C. After repeating the same process for all the vertices on triangle A, we are now able to map out the reflected image of triangle A. A football team has W wins and D draws. The team scores 3 points for each win and 1 point for each draw. Write an expression in terms of W and D for the total number of points scored by the team. The total number of points is equal to the points scored for the wins, 3 times W, which is 3W, plus the number of points scored for the draws, 1 times D, which is D. Athletic, Rovers and United are 3 football teams. Use this information to write down an equation in terms of X. Solve your equation to work out the point score for each team. We are told Athletic have a point score of X. We are also told Rovers have 12 points more than Athletic's point score, which is X plus 12. Then we are told United have 3 points fewer than twice Athletic's point score, which is 2x minus 3. If the total point score for all the 3 teams is 121, then we have x plus 12 plus 2x minus 3 equals 121. X plus 2x is 4x. 12 minus 3 is 9. When we subtract 9 from both sides, we get 4x equals 112. And when we divide both sides by 4, we get x equals 28. Now that we have the value of x, the point score for Athletic is 28. The point score for Rovers is 28 plus 12, which is equal to 40. And the point score for United is 2 times 28 minus 3, which is equal to 53. Simplify 4a minus 3b plus 5a plus 6b. When we group like terms, 4a plus 5a is 9a, minus 3b plus 6b is 3b. Simplify 6 times 2x plus 1 minus 5 times x minus 2. When we expand the brackets, 6 times 2x is 12x, 6 times 1 is 6, minus 5 times x is minus 5x, minus 5 times minus 2 is 10. When we group like terms, 12x minus 5x is 7x, 6 plus 10 is 16, so we have 7x plus 16. Solve the simultaneous equations. You must show all your working. First, let's label the given equations. Let's use the elimination method. We want to eliminate y, so we multiply equation 1 by 3. This gives us 9x plus 15y equals 33, which we've labeled as equation 3. Then we multiply equation 2 by 5. This gives us 10x minus 15y equals 100, which we've labeled as equation 4. Now that we have 15y in equation 3 and minus 15y in equation 4, we can eliminate y by adding equation 3 to equation 4. This gives us 19x equals 133. When we divide both sides by 19, we get x equals 7. So now we can plug in the value of x into any of the equations to get the value of y. If we pick equation 1, we have 3 times 7 plus 5y equals 11. 3 times 7 is 21. When we subtract 21 from both sides, we have 5y equals negative 10. And when we divide both sides by 5, we get y equals negative 2. A class of 15 students take 2 tests in science, paper 1 and paper 2. The scores for each student are shown in the table. Complete the scatter diagram. The first 13 points have been plotted for you. On the grid, we plot the remaining 2 points, 2330 and 4258. What type of correlation is shown in the scatter diagram? From the scatter diagram, we see that as the paper 1 scores increase, there is a general increase in the paper 2 scores. This type of correlation is positive. On the grid, draw a line of best fits. On the grid, we've drawn a line of best fits. The general rule of thumb for drawing a line of best fits is to ensure that it passes through as many points as possible while balancing an equal number of points above and below the line. Another student scores 24 on paper 1. Use your line of best fit to find an estimate for their score on paper 2. On the grid, when we map 24 from the horizontal axis onto the line of best fit, we get the estimate for the paper 2 score to be 35.5. 140 students choose which subjects they want to study. Complete the Venn diagram. We are told 2 students do not choose biology and do not choose chemistry. So we put 2 in this region outside sets B and C. Let's represent the number of students who chose biology and chemistry with X. Since 122 students chose biology, then the number in this region would be 122 minus X. And since 55 students chose chemistry, the number in this region would be 55 minus X. So now let's find the value of X. We know there are 140 students in total, and 2 of these students did not choose biology and did not choose chemistry. So if we sum up 122 minus X, and 55 minus X, we should get 140 minus 2, which is 138. When we simplify this and make X the subject, we get X equals 39. Now we know the value of X. So the number in this region is 39, and in this region we have 122 minus 39, which is equal to 83, and in this region we have 55 minus 39, which is equal to 16. One of these students is picked at random. Find the probability that this student chooses biology and chemistry. This probability is equal to the number of students who chose biology and chemistry, which is 39, divided by the total number of students, which is 140. The grid shows a line L. Find the equation of line L. Give your answer in the form y equals mx plus c. All we need to do is find the values of m and c and plug in these values into y equals mx plus c. To get m, we first need to pick 2 points on line L. Then we apply the gradient formula. This gives us 2 minus 0 divided by 0 minus 4, which is equal to negative 0.5. To get c, we simply pick the y value of the point on the y-axis through which line L passes, and that is 2. So we have y equals negative 0.5x plus 2. Complete the table of values for y equals 2x plus 5. When we plug in x equals negative 3 into the equation, we get y equals negative 1. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals 2x plus 5. To draw this line, we can pick any 2 sets of coordinates from the table. On the grid, after plotting these points, we draw a straight line passing through the points. Write down the coordinates of the point which lies on both line L and the graph of y equals 2x plus 5. On the grid, we see that the coordinate of this point is negative 1.2, 2.6. Write down the equation of the line that is parallel to y equals 2x plus 5 and passes through the point 0, 18. The line y equals 2x plus 5 has been expressed in the form y equals mx plus c. So the coefficient of the x term, which is 2, is the gradient of the line. If the line is parallel to this, then the gradient of the line is also 2. We've been given the y value on the y-axis through which the line passes, which is 18. So the equation of the line is y equals 2x plus 18. Complete the table of values for y equals 12 over x, where x cannot be equal to 0. When we plug in x equals negative 6 into the equation, we get y equals negative 2. For x equals negative 3, we get y equals negative 4. For x equals negative 1, we get y equals negative 12. For x equals 1, we get y equals 12. For x equals 3, we get y equals 4. And for x equals 6, we get y equals 2. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals 12 over x for x is greater than and equal to negative 6 and less than and equal to negative 1, and x is greater than and equal to 1 and less than and equal to 6. On the grid, we plot all the points in the table and connect the points with a smooth line. On the grid, draw the line y equals 5. On the grid, we've drawn the line y equals 5, which is a horizontal line passing through 5 on the y-axis. Use your graph to solve the equation 12 over x equals 5. To solve this equation, we need to find the x value of the intersection point between the graph of y equals 12 over x and the line y equals 5. On the grid, we see that the x value of this point is 2.4. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.